Hi, this is the first episode of the TheHazardCast. Um, it's a podcast. Um, I have nothing else to do, and if I don't do one of these, then I just won't upload for months on end. So at least this gives me some sort of routine. I might be doing this every Sunday, maybe. Um, yeah, so it's just a podcast. Uh, we got some topics here that we're going to talk about because that's what people on podcasts do. And my wife left and she took the kids. Alright, first topic we got for today, coronavirus. That's it's kind of a dead topic now. Um Coronavirus was came out around January, I think. Was it January? Or was it like near the end of December? Uh somebody's gonna fact check me on that. Um but the coronavirus happened, and like the media had a field day with it. Like Fox, I only know Fox. I don't even watch them. I don't look at news channels. Just all the news channels are essentially saying that this shit's the new plague. It's gonna kill us all. When has a lower mortality rate than the common cold. I have the common cold right now, and I want to fucking die, sir. Lucky bastards with the corona. So like, the media will say coronavirus has killed what, a couple, like 2,000 people. I think it was like 2,000 people that were killed. But then 38,000 people have already recovered. Like they've had a full recovery. And the news sees this as oh, we got a plague on our hands. It's only killing really weak and young children and weak, frail, and old people. You know, you know those two age groups that are usually the weakest when it comes to diseases and are the most often are the ones to die by diseases like the common cold. So it's only killing them. Oh, and also people that are starving in China, but isn't everyone starving in China? Like, they bringing communism is basically starvation, isn't it? I don't mean to get political, just like no wonder like there was gonna be a deadly disease. They have to eat just random shit off the ground to survive. No wonder someone was gonna fucking poach a bat and eat it for breakfast. Okay, that's all they could eat. Um, and of course you have some people thinking it's a bioweapon. If China was creating a bioweapon and they wanted to test this bioweapon, they wouldn't test it in their own goddamn country. Okay, like the PR team, the government in China is not. They're not the sharpest tools in the shed, but they wouldn't unleash a virus in their own country where they know it could get out of control because they have probably, what is it, the second highest population in the world? And the people there are like the most likely people on Earth to contract diseases because of how frail their immune systems are. I thought your immune system gets better the more shit that you go through, though. So would they be like really like susceptible? So like they shouldn't be very susceptible to that shit because they have to deal with that shit almost every day, and they've had to deal with that shit for 40 fucking decades now. You would think that like they'd be more resilient to shit like that, but you'd be wrong, I guess. Speaking of diseases, fucking I've got a cold and it is absolute torture for me. I hate every minute of it because my nose is blocked and I think I sound like a goddamn chipmunk. Um, but yeah. So you have conspiracy theorists. Alex Jones. If I pull up this article that I saw. Now, I don't trust most articles, especially when they're shaming people, because usually like butthurt insults like this. Timothy Johnson. Sorry, bro. I don't trust you. I don't see you as a susceptible source. I just clicked the first thing I could because I'm too lazy to look through actual sources. Uh, Direct quote from Alex Jones. I am very sad about this virus and very sad about the bioweapons and things that are going on. But it is an opportunity for people to take advantage of the products we have. Okay, yeah, that can't be a direct quote. Okay. Far right conspiracy theorist outlet Infowars has been aggressively hawking bulk food packages at inflated prices while spreading wild conspiracy theories about the coronavirus outbreak. Since December, the price of bulk food at Infowars online store has more than doubled, with the biggest package costing nearly $3,000. $3,000. That's a lot. And is that US too? Shit. Um, on December 31st, China announced an outbreak of COVID-19, a novel coronavirus that started in Wuhan City, with the first known case dating back to December 1st. Okay, so it was the start of December. I was at least close. Um, the disease has since spread beyond China and is currently present in 53 countries, yes, including the United States, and has stricken more than 83,000 people. What they don't tell you is, out of that, 38,000 people have been cured already, and only 2,000 people have actually died. The bulk of those people being old people and babies. You know, the world needs less babies. Come on, babies are the scum of the earth. Okay, I'm sorry, but they're not human to me. Okay, um, something starts becoming human when it gets at least 18, when it starts having an actual common sense. Babies and like toddlers and shit, I fucking hate them. I don't count them as human. Wait, just let me get a tissue. Fucking hell. Oh, the sweet sounds of mortality. I should, ASMR. Oh, I've got this shitty cold. Just me sneezing into a microphone for 3 hours. Hell yeah, me sneezing into a microphone for 3 hours. Fucking ASMR shit is constantly getting weirder. Like, would I really be that? Would that really be the weirdest thing in the ASMR community? Come on, you got like Jericho with fucking playing with knives into a microphone while whispering sweet nothings. You know, I don't think me just blowing bad. You know, like it'd be weird. It would definitely be weird, but like compared to everything else, it's really nothing. I'm gonna be standing up for a good bulk of this, just to keep all the fluids away from my nose. If I can get this fucking thing done. Ah, there we go. There we go. Um, what were we talking about? Punting babies? Yeah, no, we were talking about coronavirus. Yeah, so Alex Jones was talking about coronavirus. He's been upping his prices. Damn. If this is true, like, shit, that's a bit much. As the virus continues to spread and a pandemic becomes more likely, Alex Jones is using InfoWars to panic his viewers while also trying to profit off them. But I mean, you can't blame the guy, you know? That's just profit. He's just being smart. I don't even blame him, you know? He's he's profiting off the weak-minded. Oh well, you know, they're weak-minded anyway. They're fucking idiots. Let the idiots lose everything. Who cares? Okay. Who cares? You know, like, just let him do what he wants to do. He's technically not doing anything illegal. You know, he's just saying some conspiracy theories. Fucking coronavirus turning the freaking frogs gay. You know, fucking gay frogs. And the people are buying it. You know. So, coronavirus isn't much of a big deal. People profiting off it, good for them. Coronavirus isn't a big deal. It really is not. No one in their right mind really gives a shit, because it's not that bad, and it's not really gonna kill most of the population. And if it did, like, necessarily, that wouldn't be a bad thing. You know, like, overpopulation is a problem. A big problem, you know. If it kills a couple 100,000 people, hell, it kills like 1 or 2 billion people, I would be fine with that, you know. More room, you know. Yeah, more space for me. Like old people and shit, they were gonna die anyway. Who cares, you know? Fuck old people. Yeah, fuck old people. They're gonna die anyway. Who cares? Yeah, but like, it's not a big deal. It's not a plague. That's essentially what I'm trying to say. It isn't a plague. Okay. Although it is very suspicious that, like, what was it? 1820, 19 no, 7 like fucking 16 no, 1720, 1820, 1920, they all had a plague from my understanding. 2020 has got this shit. But if you ask me, these plagues have been getting consistently weaker. What did you have in the 18th century, 1720? You had the Black Plague. That was really bad, you know. That was it pretty much killed 90% of Europe. That was bad. And then what was the other one? I don't even remember. 1820, 1920. I didn't even know there was a plague. Like, it probably killed what 1,000 people. It probably killed 100,000 people. And no one gave a shit because it was like in a really like fucking rural part of the world. Fucking, it was in one of those countries where it's like that kid sniffing glue in the corner of the kindergarten, you know? Fucking, he's got the chicken pox and he's got like a Wolverine toy that you really want to play with, but you don't want to touch it because you think it may be infected with whatever he's got. And you have no idea what he's got because fucking look at him, you know? I'm going on a bit of a tangent, but yeah, like plagues over time have just become consistently less and less of a problem because humans are evolving too fast for the rate of plagues, you know. We're evolving to a state where essentially if you have fucking if you have anything, if you have fucking Nurofen, if you have Panadol, you'll be right, like you'll be right. In the next decade, they will probably make Panadol that can cure cancer. That's what I think is a problem right now, cancer. It's been a problem for a while. But if you really look at it, there hasn't, like, the deaths of cancer have dropped consistently. Like, let me look. Let me look at the cancer rates, you know? Since 1950. Alright, we'll do 1950. 1950. Oh, God. to present. Here we go. Okay. Since 1950, cancer rates for general population, excluding lung and stomach cancer, risen by 1% per year with an extra. Okay. So yeah, I was wrong. It's just no one gives a shit about cancer. Yeah, it's actually risen by 1.2%. Shit. I need to fact check myself, okay? I'm sorry. That's personally my fault. Per year with extraordinary increases in certain cancers, including cancers of male and female. Yeah, but that's because people aren't jerking off enough. Like prostate cancer and shit. The people who are contract that shit, like testicular cancer. Lance Armstrong is that his name? There's so many fucking Armstrongs I don't even know. I think it was Lance Armstrong. He got diagnosed with testicular cancer. The first thing I thought when I found that out was come on, you gotta jerk off more. Because isn't the whole thing about prostate cancer, like testicular cancer and shit? It's because you don't have enough, like you've got too much semen essentially. Like you're not jerking off enough. You're not like, you know, jerking the gherkin, wax off, whack off. You're not doing it enough. You gotta do it more. Jesus Christ, what am I talking about now? Cancer, yeah. I feel like cancer should be can be told. Black plague, that was bubonic plague, right? Is that right? Yeah, Black Plague was bubonic, and it came from Spain over to the rest of Europe, like England and shit, because they had rats on boats and shit. It was contracted from fleas on rats. I'm right about that, yeah. Yeah. I'm right about that. It was bubonic. Um, that was a could that technically count as a disease? Like, no, but it couldn't. I guess now it wouldn't be consistent. It wouldn't be called a disease. Back then, they didn't really have a cure for it. So back then, it could technically be classified as a disease because they didn't have a cure for it. And what about cancer? We don't have a cure for that. Could that technically count as a plague? It's just a very slow-moving plague that we know how to prevent, but are too lazy to. I don't know the consistency of this shit. I don't know what boxes you have to check to be classified as a plague. Like, I don't know what you need to do to be called a plague. Alright. What else is there? Plagues. Actually, speaking of jerking off, Louis C.K. Louis C.K. Louis C.K. Has anyone ever seen him again? Like, he never really did another live thing again. Like, after the whole thing came out about how he kind of jerks off in front of women. I won't lie, that was pretty weird. That was actually very weird. I don't know why he thought that was a good idea. But he did. He definitely thought that was a good idea, and he was wrong. Certainly. If anyone was gonna get caught for that shit, we should have expected it to be Louis C.K. Like, I don't hate the guy. Like, he is a comedy genius in my opinion. Like, he's not as good as Bill Burr, in my personal opinion. Bill Burr is just the king of comedy for me because of just how he's just able to turn nothing into something. He's able to turn like the most minuscule thing, the amount of pent up rage he has. He just turns it into a full on fucking tangent. Bill Burr is my favorite fucking comedian. Like, Bill Burr is just the best. Bill Burr is the best. Louis C.K. is a contender. He's in my top 10. I would say he's in my top 10. He's better than Pete Davidson. I'll say that. Because Pete Davidson, he used to be good. Pete Davidson used to be pretty funny. But, then he went out of the limelight, like, shortly after he broke up with, who's that bitch? Who was that lady? She's like the singer lady, and she cried once during a shooting. Ariana Grande. That was her name, right? Yeah. He broke up with Ariana Grande, and then he just kind of disappeared. He wasn't really doing SNL shows anymore. He wasn't really around. But I saw he came back. He had like a special on Netflix. I watched it and thought, this is pretty shit. I won't lie. He just kept talking about cum the whole time, like coming, and that was a bit weird, you know. Like, the Pete. Look, got any pent up like emotions or something, you know? Do you want to talk? Do you want to talk, Pete? Like, I'm personally able to talk to you, Pete. Just not too much because I don't know. It depends on how old you are because you might get arrested. Um, not saying you will. Not saying you will get arrested, but but you might. You know, you might. Not saying you will. Just saying you might. You know. Just saying you may or may not get arrested. I'm talking about the correct person, right? Holy shit, have I been talking about the wrong person the whole time? Yeah, I've been talking about the right person. Shit. Oh shit, I almost panicked. Um, yeah. Pete Davidson, he's just, kind of. I feel like he's taken a bit of a nosedive when it comes to his comedy. He's kind of run out of material, which is kind of sad because he's very young for a comedian. And to be that young and already, like, not be that funny anymore, like, that's really sad. He came into the business when he was, what, 17? Shit, yeah, he was, like, 17, turning 18. He came into the business during then, and he was just talking about experiences with dope. You know, he was actually funny. I still remember that roast he did where, what was... It's probably my favorite joke that I've ever heard from him. My father died in 9/11. And I'm very sad about that. But if I ever found out that my dad was anything like your dad, Justin Bieber, I'm happy to know that my father's dead in 9/11. I can't really recite the joke. I'm extremely tired and no perception of comedy, you know. Right now. But yeah, that was probably my favorite joke off of him. That 9/11 joke that he roasted Justin Bieber with. Let me think. Louis C.K. Yeah, Louis C.K. Louis C.K. He's he was good. Okay, I enjoyed his comedy. He was actually very very funny. Two memorable jokes from him was probably the airplane one, and when he was in the parking lot smoking dope with those teenagers. Just because of how sporadic he is. He's a funny guy. But then he got caught jerking his gherkin, and that was a shame. That was a real shame. But like I feel like I heard something. I think he's still doing stand up in like bars and shit now. And people are trying to like full on get him kicked out of bars because of that shit that went down. It was part of the Me Too movement, right? Yeah, it was part of the Me Too movement. And like he got fucking outed for it. But like you gotta take into consideration like what led to those moments of him jerking off, you know? What led to that? Because like I think in the woman's statement she was telling him like, no, stop it, no. you gotta think of tone, because I heard something where Louis C. I think in one of his statements, it was like in a playful way, that she was telling him not to, like, no, stop it, oh my god, fucking stop, like, flirty type. And apparently it was going well. She must have regretted it, and then just no context. You got to look at the context, and I know for a fact that a lot of people don't really care about like a lot of people in power don't really care about context. Take into example the Count Dankula trials from like a couple years back. Like he did like a jerk on his Nazi pug, and so he got dragged through like what 3 years of court, convicting him of hate speech, and being like a neo-Nazi and shit, because he mocked the Nazis by fucking around with his dog. I remember that was a fucked case. Like they completely disregarded any context and just said, "All right, this person, fucking kill him, put him in the gulag." But they didn't do that actually. They gave him an $800 fine, and I think he still is refusing to pay for it, which I think is cool. You're a cool dude, Count Dankula. But back to Louis C.K. I feel like if we got more context as to why any of that happened, I feel like I'm hoping that he can make a return, because I really think I think he's an amazing comedian. I really hope he can like recover from this, and it doesn't end up ruining his future. But yeah, I was actually going to talk about jerking off after Louis C.K., but I already talked about like that testicular cancer shit, so I think I'll skip jerking off, or jerking off. It's weird. Is anyone really? It's weird. All right, next one. Homosexuals. I don't know why I wrote that on there. Shit. Homosexuality. I mean, you do you, If you really want to suck some wiener, that's alright. I think I got this one off of, I watched the, Eddie Murphy show. Not the show. The, his live show, Delirious. It's probably one of his first live shows. Probably his best, in my opinion. Back in the day, Eddie Murphy was just the funniest dude. I was just thinking of one of my favorite jokes from that entire show was Gay Mr. T. Oh my god, Gay Mr. T was so good. Hey boy, look at mighty cute in those jeans. Now how about you come over here and fuck me in the ass? Slowly now. Gonna get me angry. Tie up my butt cheeks and rip off your dick. Best comedy routine in my personal opinion when it comes to Eddie Murphy. It was just so funny. And it made me think of like homosexuals and shit, and just thought, like, at this point, being gay is like the new straight, if you think about it. Because back in the day, being gay was classified as kind of weird, kind of out there, but like, oh, we have to accept them for who they are. We've done that now. And now you have, these people, well, like, that want to be like, fucking, they want to identify as a toaster and shit. I personally don't agree with that. I'm not saying I hate you for who you want to be. I'm just saying, at this point, it's kind of turning into a disease. Not like a mental illness. If you really hate who you are that much, hate what you have become that much, maybe instead of trying to change yourself, an irreversible change to yourself, mind that, maybe see like a therapist and talk talk about it because you never know. Like, some people are happy with it, but if you look at like the suicide rates with transgender people, it's terrible. Not because straight people and shit are constantly berating them. Oh, disgusting, disgusting. It's because some people realize that they've made the wrong decision. They've done something to themselves that they can't really come back from. This podcast got depressing really quick. Gays, yeah. But like, gays is the new straight. But here's the thing, like back in the back in the day, like biblioli, like really a long time ago, you had the Greeks, and that was essentially being gay was the new straight, was just straight, because all the Greeks, they were bombing each other back in the day, fucking all those Greek philosophers, Plato, fucking Socrates and shit. They were bumming each other. They had their dicks up each other's asses like you wouldn't believe, You, you know why? Because nobody really gave a shit. Like, I need a quick nut. This chick doesn't want to do it. This guy does. He's got a hole. If it's a hole, it's a goal. I agree with that. If it's a hole, it's a goal, You gotta fuck, you gotta fuck. Just because you don't like some parts of one gender and you like parts of the other, gotta fuck, Not bisexuals though. Greedy motherfuckers. They don't deserve both. You pick one or the other. You don't get to choose both. That's a no-no. That's a big no-no. Alright? You either get fucked up the ass or you fuck up the ass. Or the vagina. You know what I mean. Alright? You are either dick or dick vag, You don't get to pick both, okay? You don't get that middle ground. You don't get that, okay? That fine line, you don't get that. You're not allowed to do that. You have to cross each one. This isn't a fucking tightrope game, okay? Across who you want to fuck, okay? You either jump on one side or the other. Okay? Made a grilled cheese sandwich today for breakfast. I have discovered my new love. I'm like a really shit cook. But surprisingly, when it comes to making grilled cheese sandwiches, they are bomb. I don't know why. I just make the most bomb grilled cheese. And I'm so happy. Because you get a good grilled cheese and you're set for life. You give me a nice coffee and some grilled cheese sandwiches and you're set for life. If I was stranded on an island in the middle of nowhere, fucking castaway shit, and I can only bring one thing with me, I can only bring two things with me. I'd bring a grilled cheese sandwich and a cloning device. Because living off grilled cheese sandwiches just sounds amazing. And you never get tired of them. I mean, the butter and fat intake will probably kill you before you can, make it off the island. But fucking dying by grilled cheese sandwich sounds amazing, I would love to die by grilled cheese sandwiches. Jesus Christ, dying by grilled cheese sandwiches sounds amazing. I want to do that now. I want to die by a grilled cheese sandwich, like eating too many. Fucking, my stomach explodes and it's just the leftovers of grilled cheese, Grill. You know what blew my nose earlier? Instead of throwing it in the trash like a normal person, I just left it on my table. And I realized that my cord got into it. Now my cord's just covered in snot. And I'm ashamed of myself. The worst part is I can't be fucked to clean it up. I'm just gonna leave it there. My life is that depressing that I don't care. What else were we gonna talk about? I think that's pretty much all all I had on me right now. This was abnormally short. Once I actually start getting once I start getting guests and shit, I'm hoping to get TGA Bull Tyson onto the show. Talk about shit. Once we get to do that, I think it'll be a little longer. Let me look how long this has been going for. I've been pretty much standing up this whole time, by the way, because I need to. My legs are just in pain. It's not fun. It really is not fun being me. Don't fuck with me here. Come on. Come on. Come on. It's just showing the same time and I'm not enjoying it. How long? 35 minutes. Okay. 35 minutes is okay. I'm okay with 35 minutes for now. Maybe we can do a little longer next time. Yeah. This was the Poggers cast. I hope you enjoyed. I kind of did. Next cast, I hope will be on, I might make a second channel for the Poggers cast. And on that, we'll, every Sunday. Every Saturday or Sunday. It depends on what I'm feeling. And, if I miss one, you can berate me with, death threats. I'm okay with that. Yeah. I hope you've enjoyed. I'll see you in the next, I guess video. Yeah. Cock and ball torture.